Hi, English 12. This is Mrs. Johnson from the library. I have put together some resources to help you with your Frankenstein papers and wanted to give you a quick tour of how to best use them to find a reputable secondary source for your papers. Let's start by getting to the library website. It is linked off Academics on the RV homepage. Choose Library, and then from here, select the compass or Pathfinder icon, and then choose English 12. So the internet is a little broken when it comes to researching certain things. There is most definitely still tons of good information on the internet, but there's probably more incorrect and intentionally false information. Blame the Russians or just creepy internet trolls, but if you're researching any topics that are contentious or have multiple sides like you will be for this paper, you're almost equally likely to find misinformation from a slightly insane conspiracy theorist as you are information from an expert. So, to avoid looking foolish by quoting a crazy person in your paper, I recommend trying to find a source first in one of the library databases. Databases have gatekeepers whose job is to make sure that the information contained in it is written by qualified experts. This is not to say that the information in a database will not be biased or opinionated, but at least those opinions are written by someone who has qualifications. Accessing any database is going to require a password, since those gatekeepers of expert information like to get paid. You can use your own Jeffco Public Library card or any of my generic accounts listed here to get access to the databases. Okay, let's go to opposing viewpoints first. Lesson number 1, you cannot search a database like you do Google. Do not ask it questions or type in full sentences. You need to act like a researcher and just type in keywords like nature and nurture. This database breaks things down into opinion pieces called viewpoints and reference sources, which are supposed to be more neutral and present both sides of a topic. This number here is how many different articles are in each of these buckets. It's only showing the first 3 right now. If you scroll down the page, you will also see other items like videos, which are often links to TED Talks, and audio files, which are often really good podcasts from NPR and other reputable sources. If I scroll back up to the top and look at the viewpoints, even though these are clearly opinions, they are written by experts, so you can use them in your paper. And browsing through them might even help you refine your topic. The viewpoints present an opinion for and against most issues. So you're going to see opinion pieces here that are intentionally for both sides of an issue. Now, if you're not having any luck with keywords, this is a smaller database, so it is highly browsable. So for example, when I searched for science, good, evil, I didn't really get much, except maybe this result, which would be helpful for a topic if I'm writing about human nature. But knowing how gigantic the debate is on science ethics, I know that I am just not using the right keywords. So I'm going to click Browse Issues up here and just start scrolling through the topics. Hey, here's cloning, which is clearly an area of scientific debate. So I'm going to click on it. And there are so many viewpoints here that they have separated them into a featured viewpoint section and just the regular viewpoint section. I'm going to browse through this larger bucket to get more variety, and I certainly get a gold mine on both sides of the genetic engineering debate. And hey, genetic engineering would have been a much better keyword than science, good, evil, so I can continue browsing or search again with different keywords like genetic engineering. When you click on an article, you'll get related subjects that can help you find similar articles. And if you decide you want to use an article, just click the Send to Google Drive button so that you will have a copy. It can take a few minutes for it to arrive in your drive, but make sure it gets there before you leave this tab. Sometimes I have had to click the Google Drive button twice. But once it arrives in your drive, it will look like this. It's the full article, plus your copy will even have MLA citations at the bottom. All you need to do is double space it and add in the hanging indents after you copy and paste this onto your Works Cited page. So, Opposing Viewpoints is a great database, but not for all topics. When I searched for revenge or the healing power of nature, I did not get any good results because those are topics that do not have two distinct opposite sides. You're not going to find a lot of experts telling you that revenge is an excellent life goal or that nature is bad and we should rid the earth of it. So for topics like that, I'm going to go back to the tab with the Library Pathfinder and see if I have better luck in the second database, Master File Premier. This one is a collection of millions of magazine, news, and journal articles. For this one, the first thing I always do is put a check mark in the full text box. College students working on a grad thesis may take time to track down articles that are not truly available in the database, but the average person is not going to do that for the average research paper. Now, the best strategy is just to try keyword fishing. Let me try healing power of nature. My first result looks pretty good. When I scroll down the page, many of the others are on physical healing, like using herbal medicine, but not necessarily emotional healing. So if I keep refining my keyword fishing by adding more words like emotion, stress, and mental health, I will keep getting more and different results. Adding and removing even just one word really changes your results, so try lots of different combinations. My results have all looked pretty good. To read an article, I just need to click on the HTML or PDF full text links. The Save to Google Drive option on this database does not work really well. In fact, here's what I got when I sent this article to my drive. It looks absolutely terrible. It's actually better with this EBSCO database to email the article to yourself. And when you do that, do yourself a big favor and toggle the citation format to MLA so that you get the correct citation for your works cited and don't have to come back here to get it. Here is what the email looked like when I got it, which is so much better than the nonsense that was sent to my Google Drive. I found just about every topic on your list in this database, but I really had to keyword fish a lot. Revenge was way too broad, but adding psychology to it really helped refine my results. So these two databases I think will cover the majority of your topics. I do have a link to lots more databases, so if you wanted something, say, more scientific, then try one of these science databases. Now I know that some of you just cannot help but consult the Google, even though I keep trying to convince you to use a database. If you decide to just do general Google searching, then you need to check the reputability of your sources. I have listed some sources here that are pretty much considered reputable, and if you find something from one of them, it's probably fine to use. I also have a link to a website that lets you check the reputability of a source if you've never heard of it before. So just for fun, let's Google one of your sample topics that is likely to serve up all sorts of unreputable resources. Now, if I were researching this topic, I actually would use keywords like human nature, good, evil, or something like that in the database. But many people just Google what is on the paper they get from their teacher. So let's see how that goes. This should be fun. Okay, so Pinterest, Facebook, WordPress, and Quora are just places people can post random thoughts, and these are likely just to be blog rantings. Super entertaining, but not reputable. Let's say, for example, that you had not heard of Wattpad. So let me open the website checker and type in Wattpad. And it comes up with no results because Wattpad is a platform, not a source itself. Don't use it or anything on it. If you type in something like the National Enquirer or Daily Mail, this website will identify it as a questionable source because it's basically a tabloid filled mostly with utter nonsense about alien abductions, three-headed goat pigs, and other crazy clickbait. Do not use any source that comes up as questionable or does not come up at all. So let me go back to my results. Here is a result from my searching called the Times, not the New York Times, but let me go back to the checker to check its reputability. It comes back as right-center biased, but not questionable. So I may be able to use it because most every news outlet has some left or right political bias. So let me click on this article and see if I think the author is an expert. Well, the first sentence pretty much rules that out. Now, I'm not able to read this entire article without paying, so my author may reference some actual research or experts later, but this sure does not appear to be the writing of an expert. It really seems to just be some guy who used an illegal substance and is trying to blame subsequent bad things he did on an inner monster rather than his poor life choices. An article like this is not going to be admitted into a database by those gatekeepers. And if you are going to Google, then you basically have to do all of that fact-checking work the database gatekeepers do. I've given you some resources to help you with that, or you can just stay inside the databases where the information has already been vetted for you. Now, if you're not having any luck in the database, or if you have questions about which database to use for your topic, or what keywords to try, feel free to email me. When you go to college next year, ask the college librarians those same types of questions. They know their databases best, and they know how best to search them. And librarians tend to really like to talk about databases, as you have seen from my video. So we are always happy to help you out.